So what's up guys, my name is Sven and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to do a part 3 series, and as you can already see Maddox the Slayer behind me, I'm gonna talk about how to tackle every Slayer bosses, going from Revenant to Tarantula and to Sven. And first of all we are gonna start with the Slayer one, and without further ado, let's jump into it. So if I talk about Slayer, my main rule first of all is first of all, you don't have enough items to do them, just don't do them, it's not worth it. And if you want to spend your money on something, Slayers are pretty expensive, so if you just don't have the money for it, then don't do them. But now we're gonna talk how to tackle every tier. So the first tier of Revenant is tier 1, and this Revenant is only good if you want to get like to level 2 or 3, because it only gives 5 XP per kill boss, and it has 15 damage per second and 500 health. So to recommend, you probably need to have like 500 health and around like some at least defense, and even Undead Sword is enough because you will probably kill it in 4 hits because Undead Sword, and if it only has 500 health. So if you're probably like late game, then I wouldn't recommend much doing tier 1 because it's just not worth it. So another one is a second tier of Revenants, and to be honest I would recommend doing the second tier in the Crypt because it's much easier, because the zombies here give like 50 combat XP at kill, so it's much easier. The second tier I would recommend if you're still like an early game, because if you're mid to late game then definitely tier 3 and 4 are better. But let's just talk about the boss. So the tier 2 boss has 20k health and gives 50 damage per second. So what I would recommend is get like definitely most of the fairy souls have around 750 hearts and 200 defense, and probably have a Raider's Axe or Aspect of the End, and both of them with enchants. But this is good to get like to tier 3, and yeah, let's move to another tier. So now let's get to the harder ones, the tier 3 Revenant boss. So the tier 3 is good if you're like a mid game and probably early late game, as it's good for profiting and you get 100 XP from it for the boss skill, and it's really easy to get like to Revenant 4 with it. But it has like 400k health and give 300 damage per second. So definitely have over 1000 heart and probably around 500 defense. Definitely the best is to use AOTD, but if you don't have that, then probably Leaping or Raiders. And you need to know that if you at the tier 3, if you're like staying in spot for one spot too long, it will like fling you to the back. So definitely try to like, the most I would recommend is find a corner like this and try to move like this, because that will fling you, and if you fling it then he's super fast and you probably won't get your speed back. Also, to tackle it and survive, get the Radiant Power Orb, because it heals like 1% of your max health per second, and that's really OP. So yeah, that's all thing I would recommend for the tier 3. And so now let's go to the last tier, tier 4, and after that I'll talk about like the mini bosses next to it. So the tier 4 is pretty hard. It's like late game out and it costs 50,000 to even start, but it gives 500 Slayer XP, which is really good. But just so you know, it costs 50,000 coins, and if you are not gonna survive it, then that's lost money. But this is a real late game, so it has 1.5 million health, and it gives 1000 damage per second. So I would definitely recommend the Revenant, or even better Reaper's Falchion. I will show you that if you go to Revenant Falchion. It gives 150 more damage to zombies, which is really good, and after that is even Reaper's Falchion, which gives I think 200 damage to zombies. Have that with paired with Smite 6, which is a rare drop around 1% getting from tier 3, and definitely have like 1200 health. And the two good thing is for this is the Revenant armor, which should have at least 2000 kills, or the dragon armor, preferably strong. Definitely orbs. I think the radiant or mana flux, even though that is hard to get. And again, remember to, when you're fighting, to move like this, because his flame can inflict 600 damage to you, and you probably won't get back. Yeah, and now let's get to the mini bosses. Now let's talk about the Revenant mini bosses. So the fun, not much fun, but the thing you need to know about Revenant mini bosses is that they do way more damage than the boss itself, because they have less health, they deal a lot more damage. So if you see them, just treat them like the bosses, because they can kill you very fast. So just go to the corner, place a mini flux, and just like hit them with your sword. And let's just start. There are 3 types of them. One is at tier 3 and 2 is at tier 4. So at the tier 3 is a Revenant Psychopath, which has 24k health, gives 850 damage per second, which is way more than like the tier 3 boss actually gives. Then there's the Revenant Champion, which has 90k health and gives 2200 damage per second at tier 4. And for comparison, tier 4 actually gives only 1000 damage per second. So that is much more. And even stronger version, which has 360k health, Death from Revenant, and has 4400 damage per second. So if you see one, be sure to get your Raiden, put it, and just hit it. And that's all to the Revenants. So to demonstrate how to do the tier 3 bosses, I'm gonna do one by myself, because I can't solo tier 4, so I'm just gonna stay with the tier 3. So I'm gonna take out my set. This is the best if you're like in game the strong armor and Tarantula helmet. Definitely have at least, you can have like Radius extra leaping, but AOTD is just much better. But go to my inventory, and I'm gonna start just at tier 3 to show how to do it. No, I didn't want to call him again. So definitely take out your Radiant power, because that's like really useful to have. And now I gotta just kill. And let me just tank it in here and just put a Revenant, and hope it doesn't do this thing too, because it's so much annoying to actually trying to get back here. Get out. Wait, probably the Dragon Rage doesn't work on it. Okay, I mostly just find a new tanking spot. Okay, let me get back to the last. And you just stay here and tank it. That's the only way to do it, actually. And I got a full flash. Nice. So this is the best you can like, I can recommend you, because there isn't other way to do it than just tank it. But the Radiant power up is, you just need it for it. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to leave a like. And some of my videos takes like 2 hours to edit, and which is of my free time, so any support will be appreciated. Definitely subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Diamond armor on my body, better go out to the mine. Can't even build a house without me getting traumatized. I didn't even mean to kill him, he just